3, 2, 1, and we are live once again. Post-race coverage, 45th annual Labor Day Shootout from Hibbing, Minnesota. Welcome to the One to Go show. It is Ryan Aho. It is Puka speaking. Another marathon night is over, but
7 hours, and I'll give them they probably had an hour, maybe an hour and a half. The lights went out, right? I mean, if it could go wrong, it did. I mean, the track was not great early on. Some of the features were pretty entertaining. Best race of the night had to have been the mod feature for sure. Buddy of mine can agree. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the lights went out. Transformer blew. They had to call the PUC to come in, Public Utilities, and thank God they were able to get the lights back on so we get back to racing.
So a big ovation for the fans. And when that happened, so you didn't see it. I saw it. I thought they were shooting off fireworks. It was a big fire. It looked like fireworks. And it was like, nope. All of a sudden, when some lights went in, there's a little fire on the wire. It was like, oh boy, it got a little bigger, but then it did fade. So before we get started, we want to do a quick message from our friends over at Daytona 1 Performance Lubricants.
Yeah, Daytona 1 Performance Lubricants. They're in the business of helping racers save money. So if you're a racer, lots of lubricants. Look at all their lines that they have. You know, everything, a lot of different stuff. Of course, right now, one of the biggest things is the Aqua Tire Cleaner. Perfectly legal. That is a legal product. That is cleaner as long as you use it properly, and it helps get that waxy substance out of the tires, make a more consistent tire for you. They also have some other stuff out there that's a treatment that maybe makes your tires last a little bit longer, and you might have to kind of watch using that. That's at your own risk. But I firmly believe it's a good product, and there are classes out there, the Gen X late model series, where that's allowed. So let's talk a little bit of racing. 45th annual Labor Day Shootout, night number 2, season in the books here at the Hibbing Raceway.
Yeah, so hot one. Like I said, probably the hottest one on record, and she was a hot one. So we'll get going. Midwest Mods, start there.
Yeah, I tell you what, so that one right there, Zach Benson started towards the front, and I'm like, man, this cat's been good all year long. National point leader. If I had to put money on it, it was going to be on him. Boom, pulled the parachute, went backwards. Does not happen real often. And quite honestly, I think he got back to the third, fourth, fifth, somewhere in there. Kind of actually took advantage of a little scuffle there with the old Chernosky and Dylan Miller. Little fireworks. We'll talk maybe a little bit more about that on the show. But Marcus Dunbar was extremely impressive. I remember his dad coming here for a number of years on the Super Stocks. Great racer. Marcus Dunbar builds Dunbar built chassis, builds his own car, drove around them guys on the high side, carved off into victory lane. Congratulations to him.
Yeah,
Michigan representing.
Yeah, like you said, a family that's coming here. Marinesco, the only reason I know what Marinesco, Michigan is because of Dunbar's been coming here lots of years. So yes, congratulations to Marcus, and the money's going back to Michigan, and like I said, it's pretty cool. And you know what that means? He'll be back next year to defend. So that it's kind of
Dunbars have been coming here for a long time, and it's great to see him. I think that's his first Labor Day Shootout win. I know one of his cars won it because Tyler Vernon won in a Dunbar build here a couple of years ago.
2 years ago. Yep, they announced that tonight. Okay. Supers. Big surprise.
Super stocks, right? Doubled up for the 7A, Shane Sabraski. Stout field. I tell you what, stout field. I mean, everybody was here. Couple top runners weren't, but the vast majority were. I tell you what, Sabraski on the front row in a super stock is just stupid. We don't want to see it. They should make him start in the back. It's a hell of a lot more fun. But doubled up, right? Yeah. One of 3 drivers to win both nights of the Labor Day Shootout, and there's a reason he's leading national points. I mean, he had some heavy hitters here with him. They had really nothing for him.
Yeah, so 2 Canadians making the top 5 in that one too, Chernosky and Simpson.
Correct. And then also I want to give a shout out to Tristan Labarge. Not quite the weekend he was looking for with Hard Charger. I think he started 16th and worked all the way up into 6th. Yep. A little bit of a run in there with the old 1M a little bit. I thought it was going to get interesting, but Labarge with a good run.
All right, speaking of chassis, quick word from Fastlane Motorsports.
Yeah, Fastlane Motorsports in powder coating, Ashland, Wisconsin. You know, of course, the best series in all of Minnesota racing is the Fastlane Superstock Series. They're proud sponsors of that, but they build cars, do powder coating, they do all kinds of fabrication there. Get a hold of Chris and the gang at Fastlane Motorsports in Ashland. And check them out at the Red Clay. A little shout out to our friends in Ashland. A couple weeks still away, but the ABC Raceway, they'll be there.
All right, late models. The one thing I wanted to start with, well, I will. So, you know, Pat Dorr, pretty damn good race car driver. Even when he spins, keeps going, and nothing touches him. So you want to start there? Like maybe that, I mean, what was that lap? 5?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
pretty early, and it's just kind of a bee's nest. They got together, right? Yeah,
that was a tough call to make, yes.
And they called it on Harry Hansen. Harry did get into door, and door snapped around, right? 360, and if that would have been like
In the middle of the whole field. Because he's what?
How did he
7th
not
at the
get
time?
hit?
Well, that's what I mean. He could spin and keep it going, and nothing happens to him.
Right. Great job, everybody missing him. And kind of a tough call because I think that Harry and 54 kind of got together, but I mean, it was just everybody going for the same real estate. Kind of a tough one for Harry. I don't think he really got into him without being squeezed, but it is what it is. Harry had a good weekend overall. A couple podium finishes in that rocket. But Pat Dorr, he's human. I mean, he's human, right? I mean, I thought for sure that he'd win at least one over the 4 nights, and he just couldn't get it done. But the guy that could get it done, Kyle Peterman. I tell you what, he flat out owns the Hibbing Raceway right now. Right, proud owner of the Hibbing Raceway, Kyle Peterman. 4 for 4 in big shows, 3 Challenge Series shows here, and a 5,000 win show. Kyle Peterman won all 4, including doubling up here at the Labor Day Shootout. Hell of a job, Kyle Peterman. Always great seeing a local guy like him in victory lane.
Yeah, best. I say the best year. I don't think he'd argue best year of his, at least late model career. But yeah, kind of a sprint at the beginning again. Peterman is starting in the front. Massengill fast, chasing him down. Yeah, chasing him down. But again, Kyle he just was better because even in the lap, rubber down about halfway through, Massengill really never got on his bumper.
He
was
in,
yeah,
but Kyle would just shoot off the corner, right? He was just better. Now, another guy, we talked about him in the pre-race. We talked about Ryan Michelson, 8th place finish, but he started, 24th? Plus 16.
Yeah, 24th to 8th, yep.
And really, he only had about half the race to pass because it locked down, I think, about lap 18, and he just worked the bottom. That SSR chassis, pretty darn sporty. Congratulations, Ryan Michelson, on another good run.
Yeah, very, very impressive. Another guy to congratulate. We mentioned him last night, Roger Paulo, one of the locals, making the feature again. So 2 nights in a row, so congratulations. Roger's one of those guys, he's like the unsung hero. He's showed up for 35 years, doesn't win a lot of races, but he keeps showing up, and so congratulations to him.
And he actually raced in from the heat. He didn't have to go through the beat, correct? So he actually beat, in the heat race, he beat Kevin Burdick, he beat Darrell Nelson. Now, it locked down, it was rubber on the bottom, but the one thing that he did, he was smart enough to get down there. He actually passed Burdick in the heat. Burdick slid out of the rubber, I'm like, how'd that happen? But yeah, congratulations, one of the veterans here in Hibbing, one of the low budget guys, but a guy that's been around a long time, and made the show both nights.
Another guy that's been around a long time, just on the struggle bus, at least the last 2 nights here, John Canta, dead last in his heat yesterday, dead last in his heat today.
There's got to be something wrong because he started inside pole in the heat, locked down rubber on the bottom, and he'd drive in the corner and that thing would just take off on him. Yeah. So I don't know. I think they broke something last night. They must have had issues here tonight. They'll figure it out, right? Tony and John will get that thing figured out. But unbelievable. Now I do want to give a little shout out to some of the late model guys because as they're getting through lap traffic, right, and when you get locked on the bottom, you see a few guys out there. The leader would get inside the lap car, and as soon as that happened, Patrick Kelly, for example, boom, he went right to the top, got out of the way, and that's what you're supposed to do. You get in lap. First of all, we don't want to get lapped. It just is what it is, but it happens, right? Get out of the way. Don't race the leaders. Super happy to see none of them were racing the leaders tonight.
Yeah, 24 Little, I noticed, pulled off.
Yep.
Jarek Vessel, as soon as they got close, he pulled off. So I agree. All right, on to a quirky, maybe say modified feature. I mean, there was a point where it was in the books, right? I mean, take it from there. I mean,
heartbreak of the weekend, heartbreak of the night, right? Johnny Broken kind of up and down season. He's been good locally, just kind of up and down, not quite where he wanted to be. Wins it last night, jumps out to a pretty sizable lead there on Sobraski. Not checked out, but comfortable. And he just lost the handle in 1 and 2. I have no idea what happened. The car turned around. Sobraski missed him. Yellow comes out. Johnny Broken to the back, and at that point he's like, I'm out, and he just pulled off. I mean, I feel for him. That's a tough one to spin out leading like that on a big show, looking to double up, painful. The surprise of the night, right? Because Sobraski gets the lead.
Yeah. So I looked at you and I said, "It's over, right?" You said, "Maybe not."
Right. I saw Ison's coming, and I don't think he's ever won a Labor Day shootout. But here's Danny Don running the high side in 1 and 2. And then he was carving down to the bottom of 3 and 4. He was impressive. Drove around the 7A. They battled for a little bit, then he got just a little bit of a lead there. But Don Eisha's great seeing him come up to Hibbing. He doesn't typically come up here, but it made the trip, made it worthwhile. That SSR 9E in Victory Lane, good job, Iceman.
Yeah, I mean, and very excited in Victory Lane. So I agree. I think that's his first Labor Day Shootout win. And then I had the dark horse of Clayton Wagman tonight, but yeah, plus 15.
Yeah, he had a good run too.
He had a pretty good run.
The best race of the night, the track was racy in the mods, right?
Yeah.
They locked down in the late models, and them fat tires and all that, they just, I don't know. I mean, once it gets locked down rubber, it's over. The modifieds come down, they water the top, they're racing all over the racetrack. Modifieds put on the best show.
Yeah, they were, like I said, he was pushing the top, definitely Ishins, and some of the other cars too, some of the other runners. All right, Hornets capped off the night.
Yeah, where did he start? 11th, Justin Barsness, and he got a late yellow, right? So one of the Gangles, I think Mark Gangle's leading, looked like the other Gangle 34 brought out the yellow.
Yeah, the wrong time.
Cost him a win, because he had like almost a straightaway lead, bunched him back up on the yellow. Justin Barsness worked up through there. I think win number 17 for the 17-year-old, leading the Wissota National standings in the Hornets. So doubling up, one of 3 drivers. Kyle Peterman in the late models, Shane Zabrowski in the Supers, Justin Barsness in the Hornets. 3 drivers doubling up at the Labor Day Shootout. I'm not sure that's ever happened before where 3 of them have.
Right. Big checks to cash on Tuesday.
Right.
The banks open back up. Okay, any closing thoughts on the weekend as a whole? Well, actually, the whole week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Just long. I mean, the heat races tonight, it was terrible. I mean, it was absolutely awful. The heat races, I looked at the track when I got here, I'm like, what'd they do, right? They sprinkled some water on it, scraped a little off. It was just absolutely... So they got B-Mod heats in. There was 5 of those. There was 3 super stock heats. It was already rubber down after 8 races. That is uncalled for. It was terrible. Now when they farmed the track at intermission. They had the deal with the lights go out, and the late models were rubbered up. But the features were definitely better than the heat races. But man, it was a long day sitting there watching those heat races and B-mains. I'm just walking around. I'm like, this is just terrible. But some of the features were pretty good. But 7 hours, got done at midnight both nights. A little bit too long for my liking, right? I mean, it just is what it is.
Well,
I like racing, but man, oh man.
And you can see a little bit of the crowd. I mean, the crowd was definitely down yesterday, today. And of course, it was hot and everything. But, hey, there's hardcore racing fans that have told me I can only handle one day. I mean, hardcore racing fans say I can only take it one day. So
I can't even imagine going to Boone, right? Boone Super Nationals coming up this week. They literally race from I don't know, 10 in the morning till 4 in the morning or something. There's no way, right? There is absolutely no way I could do that.
How about the cones too? I mean, in the heat races, they didn't call it. Yesterday they were throwing cautions, but I have pictures actually where there were 3 different times to start get little starts on one of the cones, and they kept kicking them onto the track, but they kept putting them in the same spot, like right next to the track. And they got a whole infield. They can move them in. The cones, here's the start zone, but they kept putting them right there. They kept getting punted back out, and guys are racing side by side. There's a cone sitting on the track.
It was rubber on the bottom, right? So the rubber on the bottom, they're all railing on the bottom, and they're all fighting for that real estate, clipping the cones. They're flying all over the racetrack, so they could move the cones in. That's one alternative, but they could also make it not rubber on the bottom in the 8th race of the night. I mean, I get it, it's hot, but man, they got to start with a lot more water than that. But it is what.
And maybe a later start time would help too, especially when they knew. I mean, it was well advertised. It's going to be 90 degrees,
right?
So one thing I want to say, just a shout out to the Canadian boys. Chernosky, Simpson, Davis, good runs. Even Topazzini in the modifieds with the top 10 today. So it was good to see that good Canadian contingent. It'd be nice to see. I mean, as you know, a lot of money went back to Thunder Bay through the years here at the Labor Day Shootout through the years. It'd be nice to see somebody at some point, maybe grab a bag of money and run back to Canada.
Yeah, very well could happen. I tell you, there's some pretty good hot rods, especially in the Midwest Modified Division. Of course, 2 super stocks that were powerhouses, both running well. Chernosky and Simpson, both double duty.
Yeah, right. Yep.
So they both run really good. And we got a couple races coming up this weekend, whichever direction you're heading, right? Of course, get out there, get to the track, invitational time. Regardless, sometimes the racing's great, sometimes the racing's not great, but it's all about the atmosphere, the doubleheader, the 3-day shows, all that, just the people. Locally here, we have the Northern Nationals, Gondikla Speedway in Superior. Of course, that's a big one coming up, starts Thursday, I believe. And I think it goes Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then, of course, the John Sykes Memorial over at the River City Speedway. Both of those races will be absolutely fantastic. So whichever direction you are, get to one of them, bring some friends. If you can't, jump online, watch them. I know there's a couple different streaming services covering those races, but I might make it to one. We'll see what Alberlines does this week. I'm not really sure. Yeah, you're looking at going to the sites. We'll see how everything works out.
All right, perfect. So that's it. Anything else?
No, I think that's it. You know, I guess like I said, heartbreak of the night. Johnny Broking. Big congratulations, Kyle Peterlin, Justin Barsness, and of course Shane Sabraski. All three of them doubling up to all the other winners. You know, great job to them. And you know, some of them, as with any race, there's only one guy that truly goes home happy. Right? That's just the way it is. And there was a few of them that did it twice this weekend, so pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, catch us on the next video. Like I said,
shout out right here, Chad Becker watching. He did the trifecta. Actually, 4 for 4 this weekend. Good job, Chad Becker.
Wow.
Winning all 3 over at the Big Buck Nationals, and he won tonight over at Casino.
So make that national points.
Tyler Peterson, you got company there, my friend. He's coming for you.
Well, we're at the site, so hope to see Becker up there. So, anyway, thanks for all your support. Tune into the One to Go show. He's got some good nuggets coming up, and we will catch you all on the next video.